Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member Sykes, and thank you also to our witnesses for your testimony today, and thank you to the truck drivers that are here. I know how important your job is, and I appreciate you very much. I came from the concrete business to Washington, D.C., so I also appreciate the gentlemen that are trying to make a living in the trucking business as well. So this is especially salient hearing for me, and I'm glad to be here. I represent a very rural district in Ohio with roads that are in desperate need of repair. There are many safety officials in my district have written to me about the concerns that increasing truck weight limits may have on roads. Mr. Lindsay, based on your experience and research, can you explain in a little bit further detail what increasing truck weight limits would mean in the long run for local roads?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Appreciate the question. First of all, let me say that we're not proposing bigger trucks. We're not proposing longer trucks. We've heard that 40 or 50 times since we've been sitting here today. That's not the case. Our pilot program, which will be an opt-in for the state of Ohio, which means they don't have to do it, right? Columbus can decide, takes the interstate weight from 80 to 91,000. Most roads in our country today that are off network, off the interstate, currently have more weight than that on them today. They are operating on today, and many with less than 6 axles. Many with 5 axles at 90 to 92 to 95,000 pounds. And I don't hear drivers complaining about that. So we believe that taking those loads, it wouldn't be every load, but it would be a number of loads, say 20% of the loads. If we can move those onto the interstate and off those state and local roads, your local officials are going to be happy with that.
Okay. Now my public school math indicates to me that if you added the extra axle, you would, on an 18-wheeler, you would increase braking surface area by 22%. If you went from 80,000 to 91,000, you'd increase the load by about 14%. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I have the same public school, China Spring, Texas math, so I'm going to trust you when you said that. So I don't have a calculator.
They already bulldozed my public school, so yours is probably better. So for as far as safety concerns, have they done actual studies? As there's been some testimony about stopping distances. After those numbers, is there proof that it takes longer to stop?
No, sir. It actually stops shorter with that 6 axle, and we will again provide that data to this committee. We are operating under those standards in Canada right now in a safe manner. And again, safety is our #1 priority, right? We have our brand on the side of our doors, and that means a lot to us. In the Shelley brand in Ohio, and whatever the Thompson brand in North Carolina, it means a lot to our folks. We're not going to do anything that's going to risk our drivers being safe or the general public being safe.
Right. I think anybody who's in the trucking business very long understands that even if you don't care about safety, you find out very quickly if you care about the bottom line, you practice safety.
Yes, sir.
On the issue of safety, it being so important, if I could just by a show of hands, who on the panel would favor a requirement that CDL drivers be able to read and speak English? Just raise your hand if you agree with that requirement. Wonderful. Thank you very much. American businesses have always been the best innovators, not the federal government. With that in mind, over the past decade, companies have vastly improved both trucking technology and fuel efficiency. Unfortunately, the previous administration has distorted the market with the EPA's de facto electric truck mandate. I fully support Administrator Zeldin's decision to reconsider this rule, and I'm confident the EPA will correct this flawed rule. Mr. Elliott, in your testimony, you mentioned that electric trucks make up only 0.01% of the commercial truck population. Can you highlight how this de facto electric truck mandate, should it remain in effect, will impact the trucking industry?
Quite simply, it would be devastating. We have one in our fleet due to a customer demand. The vehicle was almost 3.5 times the price of an associated diesel truck. Your average customer, which goes down to the consumer, does not want to pay that. I have a friend who's headed a large publicly traded company. The company itself is valued at $8 billion on the stock market. To convert to electric would cost $21 billion. So quite simply, in today's market, it is not financially feasible for companies to do it. The technology is not there. As an industry, we support clean technology and that, but we want it to come on a timeline that is financially viable for our customer or our companies and our customers, and something that is proven and safe and works. And that we are running with scissors right now to try to meet artificial timelines.
Thank you, and thank you to the whole panel. Chairman, I yield back.